need a phone, and then they don't have a phone, supposedly.
Yeah.
Or she kind of just drags it on like she's... It seems like Baby's trying to egg on Bill, like she likes him a little bit or something. I don't know what the real intentions there are or not, if she's just messing with him. But then her brother comes and says, they're here or whatever. He goes and picks up the group, the other three, and brings them back to the house, and then Baby gets mad, and she's like, whoopee fucking do, or whatever, right? And
she was trying to fuck.
Yeah.
She was trying to get it in, bro.
Yeah, you think so?
And they fucked up. That motherfucker was like trying to get it in. At least half the bitch. I mean, the bitch wanted dick.
Yeah.
I don't use the bitch part a lot, but the bitch wanted dick. She wanted the D, bro.
Also, Rob Zombie always shows his, that's now his wife. It wasn't his wife back then, but he always shows her ass for some reason. She's always has her ass exposed, which I think is insane.
Look what I got.
Pretty
you guys don't.
Interesting. And she doesn't age. She looks the same.
Oh, no way. I haven't seen her in forever.
Yeah, she looks the same. It's insane. But where are we? So they get to the house,
Yes.
and it's a creepy house. And then Mother Firefly shows up. And she's like, hey, you guys have to have dinner. Like, you can't leave without dinner. You know, our son isn't going to be ready with the car for another couple hours, so they have to stay. They eat dinner, Halloween themed. So then we cut to Otis Driftwood, who is a mainstay later on. We'll find out, and he's torturing this kind of. He has all these fucking cheerleaders in his bedroom, and he's torturing them and fucking just talking shit to them, pretty much. And he looks pretty gross. He's actually from Texas Chainsaw Massacre 2, the original one.
Actually, whoa, really?
Yeah.
I did not know that.
That actor, yeah. That's actually like kind of like a hidden homage to Texas Chainsaw Massacre. You got that same actor. But anyway, yeah, we meet Otis. And he's torturing these girls, right? And then we cut back to the table, and we meet Tiny, this giant 7-foot kind of decrepit-looking dude.
A giant Freddy Krueger.
Yeah. He has a mask on. He's super kind of timid.
Yeah.
He sits down. He goes to wake up Hugo, and Mother Firefly tells a story about how he was badly burned by his dad when he was young, because his dad believed that everybody was bad and tried to burn the house down, and I guess Tiny got the short end of the stick, so to speak. Right? And what else? There's just some creepy moments at the...
Hugo, the grandpa was with him.
Yeah. He Tiny goes to wake him up.
Yeah.
But
He's like...
and they bring him back to the
table.
To the table.
Yeah. They eat dessert, right?
And they make them put on the masks.
The masks on.
Because it's a tradition.
Yeah.
And
that's not a red flag.
Yeah, right.
yeah. There's a lot of things in here that have been like, I would have been out. I would have been out.
Yeah.
I'll catch a bus. I don't know.
It was the 70s. You gotta think about that. Like, not modern times. Like, send my location.
Let me drop a pin real quick. But going back. Where are we?
We're still dinner. I think they're starting to do the show, right? They did the show, their comedy show. Yeah. And that's where, like, what's her name? Really weird. Denise? Is it Denise that got fucked up, fucking crazy on Baby?
No, it's Mary. Mary. So
you whore.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. So Baby comes out performing. Hugo does his little comedic bit, his little raunchy stuff, and the guys are into it. And then he introduces Baby. She comes out and does like this little kind of Marilyn Monroe-esque little dance, lip syncing thing. And she's looking pretty good or whatever, at least to the guys. And she goes down the line and touches all of them. And when she gets to Bill, it kind of wraps into earlier where she was trying to hook up with him. She sits on his lap because for whatever reason that's the guy that she thinks is cute.
Yeah.
And she flirts with him, and his girl Mary doesn't take too kindly to that, so she steps up, kind of throws baby to the floor and says, "Get off him, you stupid fucking whore, slut." And baby gets pissed off and pulls a fucking blade out of her hair, I think, and she's because Mary's like, "Oh, what are you gonna do? You're gonna do something about it?
Cut your tits off and
shove them down your throat."
Yeah.
Like, because she's gnarly.
Yeah.
And then the mother firefly's holding baby back, and she's like, "Oh, no, don't do that."
Yeah.
Or like, just let him go or whatever. And then the brother gets back at that exact second and says, "Hey, the car's done. You guys can go."
Yeah.
So they all pile into the car thinking that this is the end. They're like, "Let's get out of this fucking nut house," or whatever, right?
Yeah.
And they go down and they get to this kind of blockade, this brick, it's like a gate that's closed. And Bill gets out, and we see these kind of scarecrow looking things
on the side of the road.
Yeah, hanging. And it turns out to be Otis and Tiny, with masks on.
Yeah.
So they get down, they jump down and basically fucking
beat the crap out of them.
Yeah, they bum rush everybody.
Yeah.
Fuck up the car. That's a big thing to me, is like, did the tow truck guy really go through all this trouble of fixing the car just to fuck it up like that?
You never know. These people were out there, so they might have just gone through the fucking motions just to fucking do it. Or they maybe it wouldn't even fucking work. Maybe it had a spare fucking tire in the back. You never know.
Maybe my theory is, were they really gonna hurt them, or were they okay with them and they were gonna let them go? And then Mary fucked it up by attacking baby, because the vibe changes once she does that.
Mm-hmm. Well, I think they weren't going to attack them, because going back to Captain Spaulding, how he was in on it the whole time, basically, from the beginning, or from the first, I guess, important scene is where he's like, "Oh, you're just gonna," basically like saying they're making fun of him, or like, I don't know, putting him in a fucking cage and writing about him. Mm-hmm. And then he flips. Mm-hmm. And that's when he's like, "Okay, now fuck you guys." But then he's like, tries to laugh it off. I don't know if you guys noticed.
Yeah.
And then also, the baby scene, how she just kind of like flips out. I think she probably, just wanted to have sex with him or hook up with Dwight, and then he didn't want to, so then they
just
were like,
give it the D,
then
bro.
her and the mom were laughing about it together. They were just like, "Ah." So that was kind of like, okay, that told me like they're not gonna get out and they're gonna do something
creepy.
So I mean, it's cool that you bring up that point. Were they really trying to hurt them, or did it kind of flip at some point?
I think their naiveness, and they're also they sounded kind of snobby in the movie. You kind of got that vibe there. They were snobby as fuck.
I think I forget who it was, but called one of them like a middle class
bitch or something.
Oh, you middle class Barbie piece of shit.
Yeah. That's Otis.
Yeah. I like that because I mean,
it is true. I mean, it does come with also with some life lessons, I guess. Where it's just like, you gotta be humble with whatever you meet, bro. Like, you always gotta, I mean, not say let loose, but be nice. Be nice too.
Unless you get killed.
You never know. Maybe she could be a murderer. I mean, going back to the movie, I'm sorry. I mean, that does bring up a good point. Like, do they really want to hurt him? But then you kind of think they have those cheerleaders there. So what makes you think they're going to let these people go?
Yeah.
It just seemed... my point is that they went through the motions so crazy just to have this elaborate plot to kill them the entire time. Mm-hmm. It was just kind of seemed like, why fix the tire at all? Yeah. Why not just
get them
ditch the car and then they have no car, and then you just do what you did at the end of the movie without, working on the car.
Trouble.
But then they fix the car, trash the car, then they go dump the car. So it just, I just wonder, were they really gonna let them go? And they were just, they thought it was fun to like kind of fuck with these people, and they were gonna, let them go. I don't know. I think that they weren't gonna do anything, and then they got irritated with them and were like, fuck these guys, because they had, they were out there, and it was like they had told them, yo, let's get them at the gate, what I mean? So it seemed premeditated, like they did something to irk them.
Oh yeah.
In the end. But anyway, moving on, continuing the narrative, Otis taunts Mary. So we see that he's, so they pull everybody out of the car, they knock everyone out, and we first meet Mary. She's tied up in Otis's bedroom. Going back to what Lizette said about him kind of talking about how she's never really worked before, she's never really experienced the world, and then he reveals that he's killed her boyfriend, Bill, and turned him into Fish Boy, which we actually see, which is it's a pretty cool, pretty cool kill. And then she starts to lose her mind, and then. And then we find out that the sheriff's department is kind of hot on the trail because of going back to Denise's. She called when they left Spalding's. She called her dad and let her know that they had just been to Spalding's out of Rugsville, I think they said. So then he knew what area they were in. So he contacted that area, the dad, and then they go out. So the sheriff went out to kind of talk to interrogate Spalding.
Yeah.
So now there is police force in the area. And there we have the scene with where they kind of talk to Spalding, and we have Nash, who's played by the great Walter Coggins, who's looking pretty young in that.
Yeah,
in this one,
super young.
Yeah.
Super young in this film.
And he's kind of the hard ass, and basically. Spalding is kind of not, he's just like, whatever, fucking pigs, leave me alone. Yeah. He's not really giving them much. And then Wydell, the lieutenant who's with Nash, says, you know what, draw me up a map of where you sent these kids out to see the Dr. Satan site, because we're going to go. And so he draws them up a map. They go out there, and they find the car ditched.
Yeah.
It's all fucked up, so, and then they find a key in the back, the keys in the back seat, which were probably left there on purpose since there's a body in the trunk, and the body is actually, they've carved Trick or Treat into the body. Yeah. And then right after that, you find out that girl isn't part of the couples, but she's local.
Yeah,
from,
she was one of the missing cheerleaders.
From the town, yeah. And then by that time they send out the dad comes out to kind of investigate with them. Yeah. And then you have that little piece where Nash is like, oh, well, I hope he doesn't get in our way, and it's so you're led to believe that this guy's kind of a badass, or so he thinks. And then so they go to they end up at the Firefly's house. Yeah. Which doesn't work out for them very well. No. It's actually pretty fast. But so
it's crazy. They don't even fear the law. Yeah. That's how crazy they are.
It's just
it's just like, oh, let's take them out.
Shooting cops in the throat.
So Wydell goes to the front as a kind of a distraction. He knocks on the door and he gets the attention of Mother Firefly, while the Denise's dad and Nash, the deputy, go around the back to kind of catch them off guard again. See what's going on. Yeah. See, they're suspicious. They think they might have something to do with it. They come up on a barn in the back, and they break it open, and then you see, I think, Mary with a bunch of bodies just kind of strung out, and they've carved Boo into her stomach or whatever, which I never noticed actually before. And then Nash turns into a complete asshole little bitch and starts freaking out, you know. And then of course the dad is just like, what's going on? And then Wydell, by this time, he's already inside the house, kind of chatting it up with the mom, being polite. And on the radio, Nash goes, hey, Wydell over, screaming. By that time, she's triggered. She's triggered off that they know what's going on in the back. So she pulls out of a little snub nose and fucking pops him in the side of the head before he knows what's going on. So then Wydell's out. We go back around to the back of the house, and Otis has already kind of